Hey there, I finished a sketchbook, and it's a sketchbook that I started 12 years ago. So come on and I'll show you. All right, this is it. I think this was my second moleskin that I bought, and when I bought it, I wasn't really paying attention to the paper, and it's not watercolor paper, but it's fine for ink, except that you can see it bleeds. But I solved that, and I would always draw with this thin piece of, I don't know what it's called, plastic, in between. But anyhow, let's get going. So this is the front cover, and that might look familiar. And as you can see, I started it in 2014. Danny Gregory, there are no rules. That's what he said. Let's go. This was, I drew this when my husband surprised me with a new used car. It was a Tiguan, a Volkswagen Tiguan, and we loved this car. Oh my goodness. And we ended up getting in a massive accident with it, and with a deer, and it totaled the car and the deer as well, sadly. But we were all fine, including our dog. We didn't have a scratch, so it did its job. It kept us safe, and yeah. And these are just, we were into running back then. We did a lot of running. And this was up in Banff. That was a painting I sold up there. Drawing inside of the car. Trip to the mountains. We love going to the mountains. Canmore, Banff, Lake Louise. That was a picture of my daughter I drew. She was being silly, which she does very well, and we like that. And then my husband was training for, I believe, a half Ironman. And he would do a lot of swimming. I'd have to practice his swimming, so I drew that while he swam. And that's a painting of my son I did, but of course I drew it again. I actually like drawing some of my paintings that I've done. Yeah. And then that's my son. A lottery ticket that we actually didn't win, so just a pencil drawing. Little doodles here and there. That was my grandson, granddoggy at the time, Stuart. You'll see him a lot through here. He's passed now, but that was an urban sketching drawing down in Inglewood. And I did a lot of drawings from our apartment. We lived in an apartment in Crescent Heights at the time. It was a great place to live because very drawable. And there's Stuart in our living room. And this is a little ornament that I've had since I was a little girl. My grandparents gave to me of a bulldog. I was crazy about bulldogs and dogs in general, still am. And these were our two birds at the time, Lulu and Lolly. Lolly outlived Lulu, but yeah, she was the grouchy one. And then some drawing warm-ups with Stuart. I was given a ukulele from my kids, but I never did learn. And I still have the ukulele, so there's always a chance. And there's Stuart. I used to babysit Stuart a lot. And then this little series was when, I think it's called Photo Booth on our phones. There used to be this fun little thing that would warp your face. So I took pictures of my family and warped their faces. And so that's my daughter and my two sons. And myself and my husband. You'll see that I actually, to make it easier, I ended up gluing the back backs of pages together, just to make it one page. I'll probably have to re-glue them sometime as this book gets older. And there's Stuart again. Picture of my husband, and we used to go to a restaurant quite a bit, Diner Deluxe, that was near where we lived. We could walk to it, and they had great vegan food. And then this was at my in-laws at the time. They lived on an acreage back then, and I drew outside of their kitchen area and dining area, and they used to have deer that would come in their backyard. It was quite magical, actually. So I drew that while we were down there, and then it's inevitable. I always end up drawing something upside down accidentally, but that was the view from our living room in our apartment. And Stuart, I was babysitting him. I've drawn this apartment so many times back then. And then, oh, this must have been my first sketchbook, actually, because I bought a big moleskin, which I still have yet to finish. And it says, I'm too, oh no, this is my first sketchbook. And my medium was like my first official sketchbook. And then I bought a big one, which you'll see down the road. Anyways, that was me. And this was just drawing out in Chestermere, drawing in Rotary Park with a friend of mine back then. And then in Calgary, downtown Calgary, there's Princess Island Park, which is a beautiful park right downtown. And the Bow River runs through it. And then they would often do Shakespeare, sort of like fun Shakespeare versions of Shakespeare, but they were kind of fun, and they would do that on Princess Island, and they were free for the public, so I'd go down there and watch them and draw. And this was up on the balcony, the roof balcony of our apartment, and just random stuff around the house. And a teapot in Banff. My niece, she had tea, so I drew a teapot. And there's my nieces right there, Sophie and Madeline. A little bit of just a quickie there. And these ones are kind of unfinished ones. Saturday in the Park, I actually have a video on my channel about drawing this. You can always check out if you haven't seen it already. And then this was at Heritage Park in a restaurant. They had a ginormous moose head, so I drew that. This was just quick one at the farmer's market, and I think I was just drawing from a magazine here. There's Sleepy Stuart. I must have been using in these like a uniball because the line is so thick. And then just going for more coffee. And I was really trying to practice people because I am not good at practicing people or drawing people really fast. And I'm not a loose drawer. I'd like to practice more, just being more loose. And but anyways, and this was when way back in sketchbook school, Tommy Kane was one of our instructors, and he said a mistake never equals disaster. And I have used that philosophy from then on. Like, yeah, you make a mistake, you just keep going. It's not a big deal. And it's one of the best bits of advice I've ever had. So thanks, Tommy. And these were just random things I drew. That was just at an office my husband did IT work for, and that was out at my in-laws' acreage. And then, believe it or not, this is like 2024. This probably sat on the shelf for years collecting dust, and then I picked it up when we lived up in the Northwest Territories, and I was Had a few visits to the hospital there, so I drew in the waiting room, and I'm actually sitting on the toilet when I drew this. Not related to going to the hospital, by the way. Probably too much information. And now we live in Calgary again, and that is just from our living room. A couple of books I read earlier this year. I like crime and true crime, and I also like pretend crime, I guess. And that's, I went to Vancouver. I've had to go to Vancouver this year a few times for family-related things, and that was my suitcase all ready to go. And that was a beer I had while I was there, and it was really super delicious. Not sure, it was called Space Kitty, and I'm not sure who the brewery was, but wow, it was good. I don't drink a lot of beer, but every once in a while, treat yourself. And that was at the place I was staying. That was at my stepmom's apartment, and a mug I used at the place I was staying. And then my stepmom and I went to Granville Island, and there was a seagull that was really interested in my vegan Nanaimo bar. So that was, he didn't get any because it's not good for him, but he sure was interested. And then this was some art at the airport on my way home. And we live near our local library, so I walked up there, grabbed a book out of the shelf, and drew it. And I think I might have another video about that day. This is just, I like little comic things, and I'd like to do more comic things just about everyday life, but that's one of it. And this is from my shelf that's up there in my desk area. This was a really quick one while my husband Patrick while he was in the bank. This one, I walked to Carburn Park, which is nearby to us, and it's a beautiful park. And I did a quick drawing outside. And these are just things on my desk that I drew. This is funny because my husband looks rather silly in this, but I was just sitting there on the couch and felt like drawing. So I pulled out, I think, a Uniball pen and started doodling. And even though he's totally out of proportion, doesn't have a neck, I love this. I'm quite happy with it, even though it's just super simple. And this is just practicing letters. I like those letters, so I was just having them in here as a record. And this is Lily, one of our two cats. And this was my first time ever urban sketching, going to a real urban sketching. And it was here in Calgary, meeting up with a group. And I had so much fun, and I'm so much into it now. I just had so much fun, and everybody that I met is just so nice, and what a great thing, the whole urban sketching scene. And then this was at my son's place. I was babysitting Bert. That's my grandson. And this was just at our place. There's Lily and Bo, our cats. And then this is at Carburn Park again. I made a video about this, which you can see on my channel. And I'm going to be back to Carburn Park because it is beautiful and it's not too far away. So I will be doing that soon. And then this was a quick drawing at Calgary Farmers Market. We went there and grabbed a coffee, and I am definitely bringing my sketchbook to more places we go now. And that was a quick one at the zoo. They have a garden area. I think it's called the Dorothy Harvey Gardens, and I sat there and drew stuff. And then I really want to practice doing cross hatching, because if you know my drawing, I tend to do dots a lot, and I'm not good at cross hatching. So I am determined to practice, and I actually I picked up a book at this Robert Crumb book, and oh my gosh, he is like the master crosshatcher. So I picked it up for like $3 at a local used bookstore, and so that's where I was getting the inspiration from. And then so I did another drawing, crosshatch drawing, and then that's Stanley. He's our resident squirrel neighbor, and then this was back from a walk I did with Bert in his neighborhood. And then this is from a box of cookies that are from Austria, from Vienna. Yeah, and they're really good. And then this was, we've been having really hot days lately, so these were the two kitties passed out. Bo has decided that my husband's side of the couch is now his, which is fine. And then this was while I was waiting in the car, or in our truck for my husband. He was in at the lab having some blood work done, so I quickly drew that. And there's little Tim Hortons, got some iced coffees. And then the last drawing, I just kind of was really quick because we had gone to the zoo, and my husband and I split up, and I told him I'd like to do some drawing, so he walked around and did and just looked around. And then so I wasn't in there too long, maybe 45 minutes or so, maybe a little more. Yeah, and then there's another, I really like that. I forget the name of the company that I sort of have stolen that little design from, although I'm not selling this, so I think it's okay. Yeah, and it bled through, so that's what you see there. And then that's it. That's it for this one. So thank you so much for watching. I'm so happy to be able to share it with you. Finally finished this. It feels great. And I'm very excited because I have a new sketchbook ready to go. I still haven't even opened it, but this is it. And I'm going to be making another video of some other things that I've bought to really make my whole sketchbooking experience, urban sketchbooking in particular, much more enjoyable and easier. And yeah, so stay tuned for that video, because it'll be fun to show you some things that I picked up. All right, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you very soon.